So in the last class, we have seen how to deploy a static web application in AWS Cloud, and we have used HTTP server. Today, let us see how to deploy a Spring Boot application in AWS Cloud. Deploying a Spring Boot application in AWS Cloud. So this is very, very important. What is the need of deploying in AWS Cloud? Anyone can access our application. So to make our application public. Let's Spring application. Spring project. Yes. Let me Spring to let's create one Spring Start project. So I'm going to type Maven, Java version 17. Hello, Sucharita.
Hi.
Okay, right. Yeah, just I'm creating one Spring Starter project where the Spring Boot, type Maven Java version 17, group com.rajtik, then artifact, it takes the name, package com.rajtik, some values here. Click on next, and here I'm going to choose Spring Web as the project dependency. Click on finish button. It's simple Spring Boot project. Let me document here. Click on File, New, Spring Starter project. Name, I'm giving it as Web App Spring Boot. Type Maven, Java version 17. Then group com.rajtik, artifact, it takes the name, package. Click next. Add Spring Web as project dependency. And click finish. Now, so by default, Spring Boot comes with what? Embedded Tomcat server. That's the main advantage of going with Spring Boot. Now, the next step, let us create one REST controller class. Create a REST controller class. Let me go with the name Great Controller. In com.rajtik package. Let me just write the code here only. Great Controller instead of sharing it. Let us create this Great Controller under the package. Great Controller. How to mark it as a REST controller class? We have to use annotation @REST controller. Then in this one, let us create a method public string greet, where we return hello, some message. So this message we are returning. Now, how to enter into this method? We go with the get mapping, and we are simply saying slash means for any URL pattern, it's going to access this method. Now, a simple REST controller class. So the main objective is how to access this application from AWS. So how to deploy our application in AWS. That's the main objective of today's class. So once we create the class, run the project as Spring Boot app. Open browser and type the following URL. What is that? http://localhost:8080. That's it. So since we have given get mapping as slash, just if you say localhost 8080, this method will get invoked. Now run the project, right click and say run as Spring Boot app. It has started, say port number 8080. Now open browser and go with the URL http://localhost:8080. See, we are getting the result. Means our application is working. Clear up here?
Yes.
Now let's see how to access this application. What are the Spring Boot application we have done? How to access this application and how to deploy this application in AWS Cloud. Okay. Now, so here, very important, log into AWS account. Log into what? AWS Cloud account. Now, let me log in. And in as root user. So when we worked in the last class, what we have done, we have added this security group, right? That HTTPD server running in 8080, we have added in the security group. Now today, this Spring Boot application is running where? In Tomcat server. So we need to enable this port number 8080 because Tomcat server is running in port number 8080. So we need to enable this in security group. So that is the first step what we need to do here. So log into AWS account. Then to access Tomcat server running in port number 8080, we need to enable in security group. We need to enable in security group. See how to enable. See, go to this EC2 instances. So our virtual machine, Rajonlinetrainings Linux virtual machine. Go to this security tab. Under this, you can see security groups. Click on this. You have to follow the recording. Then, once we click on this, so already we are having inbound rules. What they are? SSH running in port range 8022 and HTTP running in port range 80. Now what we need to do? We need to edit inbound rules. Click on this edit inbound rules, and here we need to add the rule. Click on add rule. So what is that? Here we need to choose custom TCP, same custom TCP, and here we need to go with the port number as 8080. This change. Just we have to click on add rule, then choose your custom TCP, and here what we have to choose? The port number 8080. And the next one, this one also we have to change. What is that? Anywhere. We have to choose this anywhere IPv4. Okay, so these changes we have to do, and we have to click on what? Save rule. Click on save rule. That's it. So we have added this Tomcat server port number 8080 to the security group. Now, once we have done this part, Now let us connect this Linux virtual machine. Okay, let us connect this Linux virtual machine. Let us do with this mobile extra. Okay, here we need to run, right? So we missed out to start the instance. So we are using this mobile extra. Now connect, or you can go with this public IP address, copy this public IP address, come to mobile extra, and here now start local terminal. Select this IP address. Is it same? No, the IP address is different here. 13.2.35.50.88. No. So start a new session. SSH. So here we need to paste that IP address, the public IP address, and here we have to specify the name. So what is our username? EC2 user. EC2 user. Then come to this advanced SSH settings. Here we need to provide the private key located in our keypads. Then click on OK. Accept. That's it. Okay. So we have connected to Linux virtual machine from Mobile Extra. So this already we have discussed in the last class. Now, once we have connected to this, check whether Java is installed in this virtual machine. So to check, you can use Java-version, right? So it's going with the version 17. So Java is installed. So if not installed, what command we have to use? What command we have to use to install Java? Sudo m package manager. We have to use m install Java-y. So we have to use this command in order to install Java on our machine. There. So already Java has been installed in our case. Now our next step is we need to package our application. We need to package our Spring Boot application. So how to package this Spring Boot application? How to package here? See, right click on your project, go to this run as, and you can choose here Maven build. What we have to choose? Maven build. And what are the goals here? Clean package. Hope you remember this. We have discussed it in Maven. So it's going to create a jar file for us. So when we use this goals, clean package, and when we click on run, it's under target folder. It's going to create what? A jar file. Right? Build a success, and you can check it in our folder. So I'm working in our folder. I've created this AWS Spring Boot, and if you open the project under target, you can see the jar file got created here. Web app Spring Boot 0.0.0 snapshot. Right? So what we have done in STS using our project, we have created this jar file. So you can find this jar file where? In target folder. Now, our next step is go to this mobile extra. Go to this mobile extra and check what are the files present here now. ls-l. See, these are the files which are available. Now what we need to do? We need to upload this jar file into our current folder. That means into this Linux virtual machine current folder, I want to upload whatever jar file we have created now, in that file we need to upload it. So for that, we have to click on this button. Click on this upload, and where is our file located? In AWS Spring Boot, project, target. Under target, you can see the jar file. So select this jar file and say open. Select the jar file and say open. Now check here, ls-l cf. Our jar file got added here. So once we upload this jar file into your Linux virtual machine, into your current folder, now our next step is we need to run this jar file now. So how to run this jar file? So here, let me stop this project because we are going to run the jar file from Linux virtual machine. So already 8080 running over here. Let me stop over here and let us run this project from Linux virtual machine. How to run? See. So how to run a jar file? Java -jar. What's the name of the file? Web app Spring Boot -0.0.1 snapshot.jar. Now run this command. Press enter. So which is going to start our Tomcat server. So it has started here, this side. So it has started the Tomcat server. Then once the server is started, now what we need to do? Copy the public address. Copy this public address. Once we copy this public address, open browser and type the URL. This is our running from Spring Boot. We have checked it now. Now let us run this. Paste this address and say :8080. Public IP address :8080. Now see, we are getting the same result. We are getting the same result. So this is the URL you can use to access our application. I'm sharing that to you. You can even check it from your system also. I've shared the URL to your chat window. Copy from there and you can access and check whether it is showing the result or not. Got it, Sucharita?
Yes, yes.
Can you please check and confirm? Right? So this is very, very important. So when we are working with projects, we are going to do the same process. Now, let us move to the next concept here. Very, very important one. Load balancer. Load balancing. So this is very, very important concept. Load balancing. Now, what is this load balancing is like? When the application is deployed in one server. So up to now what we are doing? We are deploying application where only in one server. Then we have the following drawbacks. What? The following drawbacks. What are the drawbacks here? Burden on server. Burden to server. Because when so many requests is coming to your application, then the burden will get increased because only one server is running. So if you take YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or IRCTC, so millions of people are going to send the request. So to handle that many requests, only one server is not good. So in reality, what are the applications we are developing? Even if you take this gmail.com or this one like IRCTC or YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they apply this load balancing concept only. They won't deploy the application in one server. So when you deploy the application in one server, what are the drawbacks here? Burden to server. Then delayed responses. So it's going to give the response very slowly. Delayed responses. Then single point of failure. Single point of failure. So if anything happens to your server, that's it. Your application will not run. Okay, single point of failure if server crashes. So these are the drawbacks what we are going to have when we deploy the application in one server. Then, to overcome these drawbacks, we are going to make use of what? Load balancing concept. So, to overcome the above drawbacks, we can run the application using load balancer. We can run the application using what? Load balancer. So what is this load balancer? Load balancer is used to distribute. Is used for what purpose? To distribute the load to multiple servers. It is used for what purpose? To distribute the load to multiple servers using round robin process. Using what? Round robin process. Now, like example here, if you consider, let me draw the diagram. Now, if you consider, we are going to get lot of requests to our application. So let us consider this is our application, or let me consider this load balancer. That whatever the request you are getting, first it is going to hit to your load balancer. So we may be getting multiple requests. So to your application, we'll be getting multiple requests. So these are the requests which are coming from the user to access our application. Multiple requests. So when multiple requests are coming to your application, then what a load balancer is going to do is, your application, in the case of load balancing, your application will be deployed in multiple servers. The application will be deployed where? In multiple servers. Like we can go with server 1. We can have server 2. We can have server 3. Like this. We can have server 4. Like that. We can have multiple servers. Multiple servers created in AWS Cloud. Now, what we are having? We are having multiple servers created with in AWS Cloud. Now, this multiple servers, we call it as target group. What we call target group. So what is the meaning of target group? I'm writing here. A target group is a set of servers. What is a target group? It's a set of servers that are running the application. That is the meaning of target group. Now, multiple servers, and we are going to add it to the target group. Now, whenever a request comes from user, first it's going to connect to this load balancer. The request is handled by whom? By load balancer. Are you able to hear me now? Sucharita, got some.
Yes.
So whenever the request is coming to this load balancer, whatever the first request comes to this load balancer, it's going to give that request to whom? Server 1. It's going to give that request to server 1. Then the second request, whatever you are getting, that is given to server 2. And third request is given to server 3. And fourth request is given to server 4. Then what about fifth request? Fifth request goes to server 1. Sixth will go to server 2. 7 will go to server 3. 8 will go to server 4. So like that it continues. That process only we call round robin process. That only we call what? Round robin process. Right? Clear? So in that way, whenever we deploy the application in multiple servers, so what are the advantages now? What advantages we get? So the application can run on what? Multiple servers now. So whatever the request load we are getting, that is distributed among multiple servers. So which reduces burden to the server, and we get the response very fast. Okay. And for example, if any server crashes, nothing will happen to our application. So the application is running in other servers here. So this is how in reality our applications will be deployed. So we won't deploy the application in one server. Deploy application in multiple servers. So this is really important. It got connected again. Now, so what are the benefits we get? So what are the benefits we are going to get using this load balancing? What are the benefits here? Application will run on multiple servers. Application will run on what? Multiple servers. Request load is distributed. A request load is what? Distributed. Then reduces burden on servers. Then fast performance. Fast performance. It's going to give the result very fast. Then one more very important one, availability. Availability of application even a server fails. availability of application even a server fails or even on server failures. Even on what? Server failures. So these are the benefits what you are going to get when we go with this load balancing. Okay. Now let me show this now practically how to go with this load balancing. So for that we have to log into our AWS account. So this is our account, and here what we need to do, let us create some servers now. Go to this EC2. So I'm going to EC2 dashboard. So here let us create the servers. Already we are having one server, right? So already we have created one server. That is, what are the servers? This one, rajonlinetrainings Linux virtual machine. Similar way, let us create new servers. So launch instance. Let me go with the name. Web server 1. I'm giving what name here? Web server 1. Then, so here I'm going with the Amazon Linux. Then come down. Instance type T2 macro. Key pair. So already we are having key pair now. Linux practice. So one key pair we can use to connect to multiple Linux virtual machines. We can connect to multiple instances. One key pair is enough. So I'm choosing here Linux practice. Then next important one, network settings. In this network settings, here under this create security group, we need to make a check mark to this. Already it's going with the SSH traffic. Now we need to allow even HTTP traffic also from internet. So make a check mark to this. So make a check mark to this. Allow HTTP traffic from the internet. Then the next step. The next step here, if you scroll down, here go to this advanced details. Very, very important one, advanced details. What error it's giving. We have given the name, choose AWS, instance type T2 macro, key pair Linux practice. Advanced details, it has to open this advanced details. Repeat. Okay, let me just go with directly. So instead of going with this advanced details, let us create one application like we have done with static application. Now let us develop that manually. So when you go with this advanced details, we will be having something like user data. So in that we can go with the HTML file. So there only we can type the code. So instead of that, let me create this launch instance. It is success now. Now let us connect to this machine now. Let us connect to this machine. So how to connect to this machine? You can copy this address, come to this mobile extra, exit this, the SSH, go with the remote host and specify username. What is that? EC2 user and use private key to connect to this Linux practice. Then OK. So once we have connected to this virtual machine, so what is our next step? So we need to inbound rules for security group for HTTP server. So for that one, what we have to do? Go to the security, inbound rules. Already we have added, right? Inbound rules, it's already working. So no problem at all. No need to do this part. So already we have added this 80 as inbound rules. So now what we have to do, go to the terminal and say here cd first of all we have to go to this so install httpd. How to install? Sudo su go as a super user, then say yum install httpd -y. Once it installs, then we need to start the service. How to start the service? You can say service httpd start. So last class we have discussed no same thing here. Then once it starts, our next step is here cd/var. Let me clear this. cd/var/www/html. Now let us create one file vi index.html. Let us create a file index.html. Now go with insert mode, write the code here html body tag, then we'll say h3 web server, my web server 1. I'm giving what name here? My web server 1. There. Close your body, close your HTML. Okay, there. type escape key, :WQ to save and exit. So now we have created this file. Now what we have to do? We have to check. We have to check whether it is working or not. So how to check it? Copy this public IP address. Copy this public IP address and run that application here. So we have to get the result. See here, my web server 1 means my server 1 is working now. Similar way, create one more Linux virtual machine. Create what? One more Linux virtual machine. How to create that? Go to this EC2 launch instance. Let me go with the name web server 2. I'm going with the name web server 2. Save Amazon Linux. Then T2 Micro. Keep it Linux practice. And under create security group, allow this HTTP traffic. Right, and say launch instance. It is successful now. Now let us connect to this machine. Copy this public IP address. Copy to this public IP address. Create a new session. SSH. Paste the IP address. Specify username. What is that? Same EC2 user. Then advanced SSH settings. Use private key. Select this PEM file and say OK and accept. So this is one more session here. So this is one more server. In this one also do the same process. Do the same process. So what we have to do? We have to install HTTP D server. How to install that? First of all, we have to go to this sudo super user. sudo install. How to install? By using package manager m install httpd-y. It will take some small time. Once it is done, we have to start the service. Service start http d start. Okay. So once it started, then go to the folder cd/var/www/html. Then now create a file vi index.html. Now insert mode html body h3. We'll say here web server, my web server 2. My web server 2. Close your body tag. Close your HTML. Then say escape :WQ to save and exit. Now let us check whether this application is running. So how to check it? Copy this public address and check it here. Open browser. Paste the IP address. So we have to get the result my server 2. See here. So two applications are running here. Two servers we have created. One is my web server 1 and one more my web server 2. Clear up to here, Sucharita? Yeah. Right? So what we have done, we have created two servers now. Now once we have created the servers, our next step is we have to add the servers to target group. What is our next step? We need to add the servers to target group. How to add the servers to target group is here in AWS. Here you can see under this EC2, here if you scroll down, you can see load balancing. Observe this under this EC2, you can see here load balancing. This is very, very important. Under this load balancing, select this load balancers. Here, not load balancers, target groups. Under load balancing, what we have to choose now? Target groups. Okay. Under target groups, okay. So here we have to click on this create target group. Create target group, and in this basic configuration, select these instances. Then scroll down. We have to provide a target group name. I'll say here target group web servers. Target group web servers. Any name, it's up to you. Then the next one, scroll down. Click on next button. Click on next. Hyphens are not allowed. Let me say target group 1. I'm just saying target group 1 some name. Then click on next. Then so it's asking to register the targets. So which servers we have to add now? Web server 1 and web server 2. So select these servers. These two servers only. Of course, in our EC2 we are having one more Rajonlinetrainings Linux virtual machine. This is different. Now I want to add these two servers only. Web server 1, web server 2 to the targets. So register targets. Select these two servers. Then once we select this, we have to click on this include as pending below. Then once they are included, now click on this button create target. Click on the button create target. Now it is successful. So what we have done, we have created the target group now. We have registered the target now. Then under this load balancing, again come to this under this load balancing. Now come to this load balancers now. Come to this load balancers. Here again what we have to click? Click here create load balancer. And we are going with this application load balancer. Click on create. Click on create. And you have to go with the name to the load balancer. So let me say load balancer server, LB server, load balancer server. Then here we have to choose internet facing. Then scroll down. Here you can find network mapping. So it will take this information by default. And here availability zones. See, whenever you are creating this load balancer server, wherever servers will be created. So here in our region, we'll be having what? Multiple zones, right? So you can choose all the zones here. So we can choose all the zones. So which one we are using? So it's here. So what is the region we are using? Mumbai, right? AP Mumbai. In that I'm going with, in AP Mumbai, we are having 3 zones. So I'm selecting all the zones. Where our servers will be created, that we are not worried. So just we have to select all the zones and scroll down under security group. Under security group, choose the default one. It's there already. Then it's already added. Then next one, scroll down. And here we have to select the target group. So here default action, under this select the target group. So what is our target group name? Target group 1. Then so once we select this, okay, then once we select this, click on this create load balancing. That's it. It is success now. So once it is success, so here you can see the load balancer. Something is not visible to me. Here, once we come to this load balancer, we can see LB server, load balancer server, and copy this one. So select this one, LB server, copy this VPC, copy this VPC. We have to copy the DNS name. Okay, still it is not ready totally. Provisioning. That's the reason we are not getting. We have to wait until it completes. This is our DNS name. This one we have to use. So this one. DNS name. Copy this. Then open browser. Paste it here. Still it is not totally ready. So still it is in provisioning. What we have to copy? This one. DNS name. We have to copy what? DNS name. This one. DNS name we have to copy, and we have to open browser and paste that URL. Okay. So it will take some small time. It is taking some time. Let us wait. We will be getting the result once we open this URL now, the DNS DNS name. Once we copy the DNS name and once we paste it here, it's going to show the result like my server 1. This result we are going to get my web server 1, and next time when you make a request, we get my web server 2. Again we get my web server 1. Again we get my web server 2. Means whenever we are making a request, first it goes to server 1, then second request will go to server 2. Again third request will go to server 1. Fourth request will go to server 2. Like that, it's going to distribute the request. So that is a concept of load balancing. So it is taking some time to show the result. In reality, we won't work with the T2 macro. Okay. So only for learning purpose, since it is free, we are using T2 macro. That's the reason we are getting very slowly here. In reality, people will go with high performance servers only. Okay. So just check it from your end. So whenever we type this URL, what we are going to get, first request will go to server 1, second request will go to server 2. Again, third request will go to server 1, fourth request will go to server 2. So whatever the request you are getting from user, first it goes to load balancer, and that request is distributed among different servers in round robin fashion. So that concept only we call load balancing concept. Clear? Sucharita, up to here?
Yes, yes.
Right? Please practice it. Same steps only, but it is taking more time today. Right? Please practice on this. Right? So tomorrow we'll be going with the next topic of AWS Cloud. Right? We are left out with the concepts like RDS, S3, and IAM user. So these three topics are left out related to AWS. Right? Thank you.
Thank you.